Good morning, USA. I almost lost my coffee. Here it is, still hot and steaming. And I have some organic hulled barley topped with yogurt and berries. Feel free to join me. I really wish I had my tinfoil hat today because I was on a Newsweek article that came out. It says Sanders tops Democrats' list of most liked 2020 candidates in a Gallup poll. This is by Asher Stockler. Whoever you are, Asher, bless you. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders is the Democratic Party's most liked 2020 presidential candidate, according to a new Gallup survey. If you have been following Bernie, if you've ever been to one of his rallies, as I have, you'll say, well, duh, of course he's the most popular candidate. It's like a rock concert. The interesting part of this Newsweek article, Newsweek obviously is corporate news, is the comment section. I went down and commented. You can find my comment if you go there now, and it's been there for an hour, so it won't disappear, apparently. I said, even though Bernie is the true frontrunner, the corrupt DNC has already started purging voter registrations in some states. They will attempt to anoint a candidate acceptable to Third Way and Wall Street if we don't pay attention and insist on Bernie. If you want a deeper understanding of how rigged the system is and how to unrig it, take a look at this life-changing book, which y'all ought to do. And then further down, Green Wrench, whoever you are, thank you. Can we just agree to nominate Bernie Sanders? That would be awesome, but it's rigged. Bernie or bust, I'm pretty sure that's Victor Tiffany there, said Bernie or bust is a foregone conclusion because of that movement, a larger Bernie or Trump segment of Sanders supporters and a larger yet group of voters who will not come out for a centrist neoliberal such as candidates from Biden to Warren. Sanders' army will deliver the poor to the polls. I'll stop there with that comment, but you can go and read it. The interesting part to me is that he criticized Elizabeth Warren, and his comment is still up there, and it's been 10 hours. This comment has been up for 10 hours, so that's proof against what I'm about to say. Here's a comment from Lynn Marie. The DNC is already trying to rig the primaries, purging voters who recently re-entered the Democratic Party. Bernie is the only possible candidate who has enough popular support to stand up to Wall Street on behalf of our planet and its people. Tulsi also is willing to stand up for us. And then she goes on and urges us to take the Bernie or bust pledge. So that comment has been up for 47 minutes. So the Bernie or bust idea is apparently okay. And then JCF says, for me it's either Bernie or Elizabeth, and not necessarily in that order. After all the primary debates, if I'm convinced that Warren can outmaneuver Trump, she'll have won my vote. Otherwise it'll be Bernie for me. This one could be an honest opinion that somebody could hold, especially based on how Elizabeth has been packaged. But Elizabeth, as I've mentioned many times, is a stealth progressive. She's not a real progressive. She's a faux progressive. She's a corporatist capitalist in sheep's clothing. So Olive comes in, Olive Corn. I can't trust Warren after her flip-flops on Medicare for All. And on to prove that point. And then Orange Seahorse says she hasn't flip-flopped. And what she's talking about, or he's talking about, is the damage control that's been happening since she actually did flip-flop. She's stabilized her position on Medicare for All. Under that, I put, she is a careerist. She will put her own advancement ahead of what's best for the people. And this picture here, that one has been up now for an hour. So that that one, I guess, is acceptable. And then we've got people like Purple Chef Hat and Keith Aylver, who say the standard playbook stuff from the right, that he's too old, that he is a socialist or whatever else they say. But that's the standard fare that we've been battling for a while. The trickier part is criticizing Elizabeth Warren, which under this comment, the Orange Seahorse comment, where Orange is defending her, saying she hasn't flip-flopped, there have been a number of comments that I've tried to share under that that give the proof. So if I just give my opinion, my wild-ass opinion here, when she'll put her own advancement ahead. That's just an opinion. But if I try to put something fact-based against Elizabeth, it disappears. And here's one thing I posted that disappeared. This is a video, Nico House, which I've shared in another episode. There he is. Breaking. Elizabeth Warren lied. She's taken millions in corporation money. Confirmed. And he's done his homework. He's backed it up. And this is just a tiny clip from this article that you've already, or from this video that you've already watched part of on my other episodes.
But if this was anybody else, Lil Baby Jesus, this article came out in May. The
article he's referring to is article that proves that she's taken money from billionaires, and she's taken PAC money already, even though she said she wouldn't.
May. It's mid-June. No one's covered this. I didn't even know about it. But that's the problem. For some reason, Warren is being protected. I really can't explain it. I don't understand the logic behind it. I do, but I'm not going to go into all of that. I get some of the logic behind it, and it's very vain, it's very shallow, and it's very cliquey. Referring to a particular brand of feminism in the form of a second wave, if you catch my drift. She's being protected. And I guarantee that nobody else will do a video on this other than the people here at the MCSC network. So that's the other problem. If this was anybody else, we would all know about it. But Warren is being protected as a progressive. Question. She took corporate money before. She plans on taking corporate money in the general. How can you be a progressive if one of the core pillars of progressivism, as we know it today, as we would say was created and revolutionized by Bernie Sanders' run in 2016, right? I don't think anybody would disagree with that.
Right.
How can you be a progressive taking corporate money? If Tulsi was taking corporate money, the same people who would defend Elizabeth Warren would be thrashing her.
All right, and that point we've made before. Here is an article, or it used to be an article, Revolt against Plutocracy rap sheet. When it comes to U.S. militarism, Elizabeth Warren is no progressive. And this was a InTheseTimes.com article. And if I remember correctly, was backed up very well with facts. You go there now and it says this. This page isn't working. And so that's been taken down for whatever reason. This article, BuzzFeed News, Elizabeth, and again, these are easily substantiated facts. Elizabeth Warren's campaign turned to a big donor to pay for the DNC voter database despite her fundraising pledge. Again, it's just blatant lying, and it's easily provable. And in this other video that I was showing you, Nico House says Elizabeth Warren is by far the best liar in this race. And so that article I tried to post here at the bottom of the Newsweek article, and it disappeared too. So if you're trying to put factual, substantiable, if that's a word, evidence out there that Elizabeth Warren has lied, or that the other point is that she is a hawk. She's hawkish when it comes to Israel, and she's hawkish when it comes to foreign policy in general. And she has a voting record, so that's not difficult to back up. If you put that out in a place like this Newsweek article where lots of people can see it, or on a Reddit subreddit where lots of people can see it, or the worst is Twitter. If you put it on Twitter where lots of people can see it, it disappears. Factual substantiation, I gotta look that word up, that she has lied, or that she is overtly hawkish, militarily speaking, that will disappear. The corporate funded media will not allow that message to get out where anyone can find it. So if you want the truth, you're just stuck with the side eddies of the media, like Nico House, like Tim Black, like Jimmy Dore, like Joe Rogan Experience, like Caitlin Johnstone, others who are what's it, the rational national, I think his name, Kyle somebody. I got to look him up. But there are others on here who are telling the truth, and they have a pretty good following. So and then of course you can always come to the Bernie or Bust show. I made sure that my makeup was in place today and that my hair was perfect, and so I'm taking my son Ethan's suggestions and making sure that I'm slick and polished. Anyway, unshaved, unbathed, unscripted, and unedited. I hope you enjoy your breakfast.